goal of this meeting with Dave is to exchange a few questions to get to know each other and to talk about us human beings and what we have in common. So, Dave, again, thank you very much for taking the time to be here with us. It's
Very,
quite a pleasure.
very, very happy to be here.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. So, I would like to start with just a few simple questions, all right, just to get to know you better, all right. You've been here with us for a long time, and you certainly do have a lot of knowledge to share, a lot of experiences, all right. But I want to get into something simple. What would be that small thing that instantly makes your day better? Something that brings happiness to you on a normal day like this.
So one of the things I enjoy most about my job, and I've been blessed to have had a number of different leadership positions in my career. And my favorite thing is working with the teams, working with people, right? So I'll tell you the thing that gives me the most reward is seeing my teams mature and improve. So when we hit a milestone that we've been working for, or even if it's as simple as someone completes a training that they've really wanted to be doing, right? Just seeing people progress and and accomplish their goals, that's extremely rewarding to me.
Wow, that speaks volumes about your philosophy, and that goes in line with my next question. And considering our circumstances, you spoke about being able to work directly with teams, and again, I'm sure you have had shared several leadership positions in the past. And so, how was for you that experience of switching on from pre-pandemic times to post-pandemic working from home times? All right, how did that affect you?
So it's a great question. One thing that was unusual about my transition compared to maybe others is that prior to coming here, I worked for companies that were very virtual to begin with. Oracle, for example, they have a few pockets of offices where people come in every day, but it is by and large a virtual organization to begin with. That being said, there's a difference between being semi-virtual and not seeing anybody that you work with live for several years, right?
Yeah.
So that was challenging, as I'm sure it was for everyone, particularly people that were used to coming in the office all the time. Post-pandemic, I mean, first of all, I'll never forget the first meeting back where you're actually talking to people in person. We had kind of a group meeting. There were people in my team that I had literally never talked with live, right?
Wow.
And so it was a great experience. And I'll tell you, you know, um, I think that personal interaction is so important for team building. Whether you're talking about a small team or you're talking about the culture of an entire company like Equisoft, it's really very difficult to make people feel part of a team and to have them have a sense for what the company is all about without getting together in person, right? So I'm extremely happy to be engaged with and traveling around and seeing my teams face to face. It's a big deal for me. If you talk to my teams, they'll tell you that I love to bring them all together and have that, not just me, but all of them being able to interact and have time and space to just be together, share ideas. A couple of days in the office together is the equivalent of weeks and weeks virtually, right?
Yeah.
So you just get a lot more done, and the personal interaction is terrific. So
Thank you for sharing that, and I also shared some of that philosophy. I agree that by personal direct contact we create more bonds, and that will help us to better coordinate and work with each other. And what would you say to someone who sees you in the office, because you're always busy, and of course you travel a lot. Okay, so is Dave a handshaker? Is someone who's approachable? Is like, what do I tell your team? What do I tell your people? Like, okay, there's Dave, like, go say hi to him.
so I enjoy all interactions with folks on my team or otherwise. People are always welcome to come up and talk to me. Uh, you probably won't find me just sitting around doing nothing and waiting for so. I tend to pack my schedule and be very busy. But that said, if I'm at getting a coffee or talking to someone in the hall, people should absolutely feel free to talk to me. And I'll tell you that it's been my experience in my career, some of the most transformational ideas have come from just casual conversation with my team, with others. You get an insight as to what else is going on, and then there's this spark of, hey, what if we did that you're doing over there and applied it over here? And then you get some momentum. So not only do I feel personally very committed to being open and welcoming and approachable, there's value to the organization in all of us
Yes.
being open to those interactions.
Yeah, and I remember that one of our first interactions was at the Christmas party, and you were dancing and having just a great time at that venue. And I was impressed. I was like, well, Dave, he came from the US here to Montreal to have some fun. All right. So, yeah, it allowed me to see a different aspect of you.
Well, let me tell you that I also think that's an extremely important part of what we do is to allow for fun, right?
Yes.
We do work for a living, we get paid to work for a living, and that's all well and good. But we're all human beings at the end of the day as well, right? And there's nothing wrong with having fun along the way. And I especially enjoy outlets like happy hours or Christmas parties or any informal gathering outside the office. I'll tell you though, when we're in that forum, I discourage people from talking about work, because what I really want to do is get to know the people around me on a personal level. And I hope that they do this. I want them to get to know me at a personal level, because that's so hard to do during the day when you're in back to back meetings trying to get some stuff done. That's why doing things like that is so important, getting out of the office and allowing for personal interaction.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the things that the pandemic or the lockdowns took from us. Every interaction was planned. It had to fit an agenda and everything. So we lost the small talk or the coffee talk when or when hallway conversation in the office. We lost some of that. So we lost the ability to connect with people on a different level outside of work. All right. So one of the things that I tend to ask people is, "How was your weekend? Tell me about your weekend." So this will be my next question to you, Dave. How was your weekend, and what will be a very enjoyable weekend in your opinion, to you in your life?
Okay, that's a great question. Um, I spend a lot of weeks on the road traveling, and so I really value my weekends, and try as much as possible to set aside the work activities and focus on my home life. I have two children. Neither is at home anymore. One's in Chicago in school, and my that's my daughter, and my son is in El Paso, Texas. He's in the Army.
Wow.
And I have a brand new grandson that's also in El Paso. So when I take vacations, I'm usually traveling to see either my daughter or my son and daughter-in-law and grandson. Um, but on the weekend, if it's just me and my wife, you pointed out one of our activities. We take dance lessons, and so we really enjoy that time together. And then besides that, I'm most likely doing some type of sport. I love golf. I love running. I love cycling. So that's I try to film, and my new passion is cooking.
Wow.
Basically, any activities that take me far away from what I do every day is what I really like to do when I'm on the weekend.
And now you got me curious about the genre of dancing that you do with your wife. Is it any Latin American dance, or is it a different kind of dance?
So when we first started dancing, we were focused on salsa and bachata. So we did that for quite a while. And then now we're starting to branch out into all types of dance, other types of rhythm dances, even smooth dances like waltz, foxtrot, tango. So we're still beginner level at that. But it's the experience, right? Just getting away and having some time to connect.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one of the hobbies that I enjoy a lot, and especially in summertime with my wife. I go out for dance. We dance merengue, salsa, also bachata. So I would have never thought that you also dance that as well. So right. So eventually, probably in the next Christmas party, I'm going to see some of your moves. Right.
Well, we got to make sure that we get some Latin music going on, and you can. I'll share some of my dance moves, and you can do the same.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. We need more Latin American music at those venues. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Dave. So that's you have shared a lot of information, right, about your hobbies, and you seem to be very active. So can I say that your weekend is very active? It's filled with activities, right? It is not you just sitting at home and relaxing. Probably from time to time you do that, but you're mostly on the active side of things, right?
Those that work closely with me know I'm mostly on the active side, whether it's during the week and getting stuff done with work, or on the weekend and moving from one activity to another. I don't often sit around and relax.
That's good. I'm with you on that one. So now going a bit back to the leader, Dave being the leader. All right. Has it haven't happened to you that you have to work with a friend, or that you made a friend at work? How how you balance that? How you balance that connection with someone that you cherish, and having to work with them? That not all the time it might work actually.
So I talked early on about the value I place in personal connection, and that is definitely something that over the years uh, my style is such that I do want to build a personal relationship with those in my team, especially those that work directly with me. Whether you're talking about someone who reports to me or a peer, I do try and invest a lot of time and energy in those relationships. For example, when we first came out of the pandemic, one of the things that I would make sure I did whenever I came to Montreal Every lunch, every dinner is purposeful. It's with somebody, building a relationship, right? Whether it's a team of people or a one-on-one. Um, After years and years of having that leadership style, of course, I've made friends, right? And some of those friendships, have lasted for years and years, and in some cases, even, uh, folks that I work with when I was at Oracle. Folks may not know this, but I was 5 years at Oracle working with Equisoft, so I built a lot of relationships with folks, and then came back here and got to take pick those up where they left off. I've recruited people that I work with, and friendships that I've built into other organizations. I've been recruited by people I've built relationships with. So I think it's definitely worth the investment. Now, if you're talking about how to balance that, in terms of a work relationship, I mean, you when we're in the work environment, you have to prioritize work, right? And but the things that build a good work relationship build a good friendship. you know, it may be hard to give honest feedback to someone, but in my experience, giving that honest feedback, even if it's hard to hear, uh, in the end strengthens the relationship and improves respect. So, um, honestly, I haven't really had a lot of challenges with having friendships colliding with work relationships, because in my mind it's the same. It's about being, having integrity, being honest and straightforward, and dealing with people like people.
That, that that's uh, that's the first time I hear this kind of question, because it makes me think a lot of, yes, you can apply these same values to both instances, right? You would expect to have a good friend to be sincere, to be honest, to be reasonable, to be respectful, and those same values to be transferred to their work environment. All right, so you are not expecting your friend to perform differently in a work ambience.
That's
So
exactly right.
thank you very much for sharing that, Dave. So now that we're running a bit out of time, I would like to ask you, what would be a good piece of advice that you would give probably to yourself when you were on your 20s, and to some other people that they are starting to explore the world. These world is very different now from when you were young. All right. So what would be that advice that you would give them?
Well, I'm gonna say two things. First of all, seems to be kind of the theme of this discussion: relationships. Invest in personal relationships, and not just with, the people you work for, but the people you work with, the people who work for you. When you build those relationships and people get to know you and you see you operating with honesty, integrity, working hard, and having a good work ethic, that comes back to you in time. Uh, so that would be my first piece of advice. And the second piece of advice is, your career is in your own hands. You can't wait for someone to train you, to prepare you, to give you what you need to be successful. You need to be constantly assessing where you're at, where you want to go, and what are the things you need to do and learn in order to get there. And you have to work with your managers, with the team around you, and take every opportunity to absorb from anyone who's willing to give it the knowledge and experience you need to progress.
So if I understand that last part, would you advise us or me probably to find a good mentor to take the career on our hands, but also taking by taking that step, also identify someone who can we profit from their advice and profit from their own experiences.
Well, absolutely, you should have a mentor, but I would take it a step further and say you should have mentors. No single person can give you everything you need to learn for your career. So identify the people who do have experience and knowledge and, absolutely leverage those as mentors, but don't think of it as just a one-to-one, but more of a one-to-many.
That's good. I hadn't seen it on that part, but it's very true. So it's a good encouragement, and on top of that, you need that personal connection. That's the only way to find a mentor or several, as you will mention. So, Dave, we have run out of time, but I once again thank you for taking the occasion to talk to us. It's incredible how much we can learn about each other in just a few minutes. All right, and find new ways to connect on that. So thank you once again. I appreciate it really
I
much.
appreciate the opportunity. I love to step out of my day-to-day activities and be able to talk to people about career and friendships and relationships. So thank you. It's been a great experience.
Thank you, Dave. I wish you a great rest of your day. All right, take good care, and I hope that I can see you soon here in Montreal.
Yes, you will.
Take good care.
Thanks.
Thank you.